Hey guys, welcome to a brand new Battle of the Schmoes podcast number 2 for the second week in a row. Me and Cody are here talking again, more Schmodown talk. Of course, we had some fantastic matches this week, top 10 versus top that, and Cody Hall versus Lon Harris. This was an awesome thing, and we are so excited to talk about this. But before we get into this, Cody, introduce yourself.
Hey everybody, how's it going? So, yes, we're here. We're talking about the Schmodown. We're excited because this week's episodes, they were fantastic. Of course, you guys know me from YouTube. My name's Cody Curtis. I'm a movie lover. I'm a movie trivia Schmodown fan lover. Zach, this is really an exciting time because, as we stated from last week's episode, the stuff that we've gotten in the Schmodown, it just keeps getting better and better and better. And the episodes that we got this week, they really do prove that.
Yeah, no, completely agree. This was a fantastic week. I personally enjoyed the team match more than the singles match, but I have to say the singles match was hands down one of the funniest matches I think we've ever had in Schmodown history. I was howling at some of the things, and it was such an enjoyable ride. But Cody, this was such a great time. And of course, before we get into this, for the people who are joining us live, make sure to save your questions for the end of the stream, or we'll be taking some questions about the Schmodown and talking with you guys about how some of the Schmodown went down. And also keep in mind that you can also find us on SoundCloud and iTunes down below. And if you guys don't want to listen to this on YouTube, you guys can find us down below. Just save it and wait a couple days, and we'll have those links up soon. But Cody, should we talk with top 10 versus top that first?
Yeah, I think we should. We really should, Zach. And the reason is, order is great in all things. And Zach is right, guys. The happy news is the fact that you guys can find the Battle of the Schmoes. You can find last week's episode if you missed that, and you'll be able to find this week's episode on SoundCloud and iTunes within the next couple of days. But top that and top 10, we can't really talk that much in the way of introductions, although John Roca did come out in his old attire, in his old V for Vendetta mask. And that was really great to see because it's something we haven't really gotten in the Schmodown in quite some time. And seeing John Roca back in the movie trivia Schmodown, that is something that I was really happy to see because we know he took a little bit of a break, but he's back. Top 10 is back. Everything is just great. And in all honesty, unlike last week's episode between Rachel Cushing, Mike Kalinowski, and JTE, I felt the questions between top that and top 10, I thought they were harder. I thought they were more brutal, and I thought they required you to use your mind more. And that is what I absolutely loved. What do you think, Zach?
I mean, absolutely. I love this match. It was great. Going into it, I was very nervous for top 10 because top 10 is one of my favorite competitors. I mean, John Roca and Matt Nost are some of my favorites, but top that came out of nowhere, and they were always so surprising. I mean, you and me are in a fantasy league with some of the great other YouTubers, and when it was coming up for teams, I'm not going to lie. I was going to choose top that as my first team person, but then came down to that match, and I was like, nope, top 10 is here to stay. They are here to show, and I don't know why I ever overlooked them. Because I know they've had some matches previously that weren't their best particularly, but ever since Team Action lit that fire into John Roca's ass, they have come back to storm. And this game, that first round, John Roca, and Matt Nost were just on top of it, kicking major ass. Like, completely above the board. I loved seeing John Roca and Matt Nost here. You could just tell they were on fire. They were eating it up, and I honestly think them going up against the Patriots next, third time's the charm, they're gonna win it. What about you? Do you think this is them? Do you think this is their match to win?
Yes, I absolutely do. Look, here's the thing. The Patriots are the Patriots. Entertaining, yes. Very arrogant about their place in the Schmodown. Yes, I am so ready because I have been on John Roca's side from the beginning. Yes, he might have gotten angry back when he was the outlaw. He still is the outlaw. Him and Matt Nost, they're going to take this entire competition when it comes to the team league. They are going to get the belts. They're going to get the records away from the Patriots. And this is going to be an intense match. It's going to be an amazing match. But what can we say about the match that we witnessed on Tuesday? It was brilliant. It was breathtaking. It was just so great to see Team Top 10 at the very top of their game once again.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, top 10, again, these were really tough questions going around. Like, I don't think I probably would have gotten a couple of them right, but overall, it was a very tough match between two or four great competitors, and I absolutely just loved it. I think, honestly, though, like, this shows that you can never count top 10 out, and I loved it. And top that, dude, we cannot discredit them. They are so good. Top of that is great. I know they used to be formerly known as Team IGN, but man, Top That is fantastic. When you come down to them and the movie knowledge that they have, I would love to see two of those guys both show up in solos and singles. I think they would do really good in singles as well. But as a team together, they work both best off each other. And honestly, going into other team matches, I can see Top That really easily rising back up to face whoever the next champion is.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, Team Top That, although I don't believe I've watched many of their matches, they blew me away when it comes to this one. They absolutely blew me away, and I cannot wait to see where they're going to participate next. In all honesty, the trash talk that we got at the very beginning of this episode of the Schmoedown, it's some of my favorites. You know, whether it be between Sam Witwer and Ken Napsok, dude, the movie trivia Schmoedown, this episode is just everything I love about the show, everything I love about this game. And it just went so well. And I gotta also hand it once again to how it was hosted. Because in this match, we got Christian Harloff, and we also got Ken. And that was really, really great to see the way they interacted. And it's so entertaining to see that Ken has that dark side in him. To see that, you know, he turned away from Rachel Cushing, and we're all angry about that. But the show is just getting more and more entertaining as the time goes on. So congratulations to you two gentlemen for hosting a really good game.
Yeah, of course. It's always great to see Ken in there. I know we all call him Ken Kylo Ren now, pretty much. He has gone to the dark side. He has pretty much betrayed us all. But, I mean, Ken's a really good commentator, and so is Christian Harlow. I mean, of course Christian is, of course Ken is. And I love seeing anyone who commentates. They always bring a good flair and different energy to them, and it adds more to the matches, of course. And the thing I want to put out here, though, is I absolutely love, before we get into the other match, is top 10. I love your intros. I love the music you play for it. I just love it. Outlaw Nation, baby. Outlaw Nation right here, dude. I am toll for the Outlaw Nation right here, and it just really is. I love top 10, and I can't wait to see where they go next. I really hope they beat the Patriots. I think third time's a charm, like I already said this, and congrats to them, and congrats to Top That too. Top That did a great job as well, and I, again, can't wait to see them back on the screen.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our praises towards both of these teams and the entire movie trivia Schmoedown cannot be understated. The way this show has progressed to where the teams are, to where everybody wants a piece of it, where everybody wants to participate. It's one of the greatest games that has really built a community. It's an original game. It's a game that is very creative. It's a game that has lots and lots of fans. And it's just great to see that there's so much enthusiasm and so much characterization from each one of the competitors. And everything just came together beautifully in this match that we got between Team Top 10 and Team Top That. But now, Zach, we should move over to my personal favorite match that we got this week between Lonzo Harris and Cody Hall. This, you know, Cody Hall hasn't been a big part of the Schmoedown. He really hasn't. But it was so great to see him come back. And he did such a great job. I might be saying that because I've always liked Cody Hall. I might be saying that because we have the same name, which is awesome. But in all honesty, although this match was simple, it's one of my favorite matches for a beginner or a rookie in the Schmoedown. What do you think, Zach?
Absolutely. I mean, the question's really easy. I could have beaten Lon Harris in that. And that's saying a lot. The web slinger Cody Hall. I honestly didn't think you'd do that good because I chose Lon Harris in my singles fantasy draft, and that was because Lon Harris, the professor, he has such a high movie knowledge. But when they were throwing some of the questions at him, I was like, Lon, come on, get some of these right, baby. Like, I get it, you're in my drafts, but I have you to win. Like, I need some points on my team, dude. I mean, here's the thing: is Lon did a great job. Like, Lon overall did a fantastic job. So did Cody. Cody shocked everyone. Cody, when he got all 8 right in the beginning, it was like, okay. He's here to say, given the questions were pretty easy, given I could have gone all 8 right, and given when Lon Harris missed the damn question with Sandra Bullock, who was her lover in, was it The Proposal? Is that what it is? Ryan Reynolds, dude. Ryan fucking Reynolds. How did you not know that? Like, I was so mad when he got that one wrong. And again, it just steamrolled from there. And get it, the lights are on you. Maybe you forget. Maybe you've never seen some of those movies, and maybe they're not your particular thing. The thing is, some of those questions did feel a little particularly thrown to the millennials, given Cody Hall is pretty much around our age range. So I would say it was kind of thrown towards us. Lon Harris, though, when the classics came up and he still wasn't hitting them, I was like, you got to get these right, man. Come on.
Yeah, Zach, you're absolutely right. Honestly, Lon Harris, look, he's a fantastic player. I will say that. A little bit cocky. But, you know, it's one of those things
you can't forget about that.
Well, that's true. He is the professor. But the question that really aggravated me was the question about what was the year that the first original Iron Man came out. Everybody knows that it's 2008, and he guessed 2005. I mean, that blew my mind that he got it wrong, and it kind of angered me. And then, like we've already stated, Cody Hall got that right as he proceeded to get every question in the first round right. But then we move on to the second round, and it was kind of astounding how that went down, because from the beginning, from Cody Hall's entrance, I was on his side. I mean, Space Jam. You can't go wrong. The second round with the wheel between Cody Hall and Lonzo Harris, the professor, I am surprised that it was as close as it was. What about you, Zach?
I was shocked when he spun opponent's choice, and he didn't, let's put it this way, the fact that I literally thought Cody was toast. Like, I thought, yep, Lon has this. And no, he didn't. I mean, we can even throw it back to top 10 really fast, how Top That chose biopics for John Roca. But it's like, in that case, everyone knew, okay, John Roca's going to win. But in this case, you look at this, and it's like, Cody's fucked. And I mean, even in Cody's face, he was like, yep. I'm not gonna be able to do it. But he took some educated guesses that I would now have been able to get right. I would have had to guess too. And Cody has that really fun, imaginative thing to him that it's like, Ken, you're not gonna believe it, but I'm gonna need multiple choice again. And every time he said that, I probably laughed a little bit harder each and every time. He has great charm to him. And really, that second round took me by surprise that I thought Lon Harris was going to take it away in that last round. The professor himself was going to master the student. And you are right. He can be a little arrogant at times, but that's the thing. It's your schmo-down personality. And I love when they have these bigger-than-life characters that they bring to life. Also, the fact that Lon brought a freaking syllabus, like he was actually a college professor, and they read it, that was just brilliant. That just adds another effect to how cool the schmo-down is. It's like a whole WWE thing. Every storyline, everyone has a character. We need some baseball WWE trading cards, some action figures in this thing. Schmoes, Collider, get down on that. Patreon, do all that. I would love an action figure of some of these people because I would display them on my background. Hell, do some Pop Funkos. If you guys know me, I love my Pop Funkos. I would love some Schmodown Pop Funkos.
Yeah, guys, okay, I couldn't agree with Zach more. And you know what? A movie trivia Schmodown card game, although that would probably just be considered movie trivia, that is a really great idea. If you guys don't know, I'm a giant fan of card games, be it Solitaire, be it Yu-Gi-Oh!, be it a simple game of Go Fish. I absolutely love card games. Guys, Christian Harloff, Mark Ellis, you guys have a fantastic opportunity here at your fingertips to create some merchandise. But of course, we don't want to dilute the currency that is the great Schmodown championships that we're getting. And man, oh man, this was, even though it was a very simple match, it's one of my favorite matches of all time. Because like I said, I've always been a big fan of Cody Hall, and I think what he did in this match was great. And then we got into round 3. And this is where my heart just broke, because this was the match that left me with goosebumps. It left me sweating through my shirt, and I was so nervous. This was such an intense match. It came right down to the wire in this third round.
Yeah, no, it really did. I thought Lon Harris was gonna take it away, but he didn't. Like, it was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then sudden death. And so like you said, you were sweating and you were on the edge of your seat. So when I usually watch Schmoedown, I'm actually running on the treadmill. So I'm already sweating. I'm getting some more sweat in there, and it kind of makes me stress a little bit more for the people I'm cheering for. And as much as I wanted Lon Harris to win, I was kind of deep down also cheering for Cody, the web slinger, because one, he kind of looks like Tom Holland. 2, I like his attitude, and 3, he's just awesome. And this is a match where I literally love to see it go either way, and it was a great way to see how the Professor did come out on top. I mean, when Cody got that last question, I was like, I don't know it. I didn't even understand the question for a second, but Lon Harris understood it, and he got it right, and he knew, as the Professor, he was taking it away. And it really was a sudden death was nice to see, especially this early in the season 5 so far. It's nice to see sudden death popping up, and it already shows that we're having some great competitors.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we could talk about the ending of the match for sure. I mean, the ending of this match, it was just a kind of a stereotypical ending to a match. I mean, besides the person asking the questions, which is the great Perry Nemiroff. But, of course, we got 2 different hosts this time. We got Mark Ellis, and then we got Ken Knapsack again. And, yeah, Ken he showed his dark colors this time, boy. I have never heard so much sarcasm, so much, I hate to say the word anger, but I guess kind of anger towards Cody Hall because he was doing so well. Man, Ken has really gone to the dark side. But I will say this, Ken may have gone to the dark side, but it was some entertaining to see. That's for sure. I absolutely loved it. And once again, to Ken and Mark, great job hosting this episode of the Schmoes, because guys, when Ken and Mark are hosting the movie trivia Schmoedown, it's always as funny as it can be.
Yeah, no, they were entertaining as hell. I mean, also, we got to talk about the crowd, all the chanting in here. I want a crowd cam. Like, I would have loved to see the crowd's reactions, all of it. It would have been so great. I get it, we can get reactions and stuff, but it would have been just great that the chanting they were having for Cody, the chanting they were having for Lon, well, the sort of chanting, the booing of some sorts, but Ken was just firing in all cylinders, all the shades of dark, and might I say 50 Shades of Grey kind of stuff there. He was just throwing it back and forth, and Mark's trying to defend it back and forth. It was like the Sith versus the Jedi on the commentating counter, and I loved hearing all that. It was just really a fun time, and I honestly think this is 2 of my favorite banters back and forth for 2 of the competitors. That's what made this match so well done, is all the humor, because we've had low-scoring matches before, and sometimes when it is, not gonna lie, it's kind of sometimes a little boring because the crowd's not into it, the commentators aren't into it. But when the commentators are going into it, when the crowd's going into it, wangers are going all into it, it's all such a fun story, and I loved hearing all that.
Absolutely. You know, it's like we always say when it comes to the movie Trivia Schmoedown, it is so well done and so well put together that the energy and charisma that comes with every single competitor, that comes with everybody in this entire competition, it makes you want to be a part of it. It makes you want to be in the show. I mean, heck, it made Zach and I want to start a podcast talking about the episodes. Hearing, you know, whether it be Cobster or John Roca or anybody else who is just yelling at the top of their lungs from the sidelines, it is so funny and so great. I mean, it made me want to be on the sidelines cheering with them, being part of this show. And that's what's so great about it. And once again, major props to Christian and Mark for coming out with this, because as far as movies are concerned, it's, in my opinion, the Star Wars community version of a movie trivia show. There's so much love, so much family within this show, and it's just so energetic, and it's great to see.
Yeah, absolutely, hands down. I love this episode. I loved it all. But before we get into a little bit more of this, I want to let know everyone who's in the live stream to make sure to comment down below and tell us some questions that you guys are be having for us to answer. We're going to be getting to that part of the show soon. So, of course, and also if you're on SoundCloud and iTunes listening, thank you so much as well for joining in and listening. We love all your guys' support. We love hearing you guys' feedback, and we just love talking the Schmodown and movies and entertainment in general. This was a really ton of fun match, and I just love the charisma between these two people. I mean, Cody Hall has this attitude that I like. He really is the true Spider-Man in real life. So if they ever do recast again, for some reason, maybe he'll get the role. I will say, though, in the post-interview matches, Lon Harris says he calls out Christian, but he calls out Cobster instead. And come on, Lon, call out some big fishes now. Like, call out a William Bibiani or something. Like, Lon, you are a fantastic thing. This doesn't give any past credit to its Cobster. Cobster has some good movie knowledge as well. But Lon Harris is a very fierce competitor. I think that he should be going for some big fishes right now. I don't know if he's trying to build his way up. I don't know if he's having some alliance with all these younger people to actually have a school of movie knowledge or something. But I want him to go up against some bigger competitors. I will say this, though. I would love to see Lon Harris and Cody Hall form a team on the Schmodown.
That would be absolutely great. You know what? They were talking about it in the show itself. It's seeing Lon Harris and Cody Hall team up in a team match. That would be absolutely fantastic. Guys, this was a great match, and seeing I know I've talked about the energy and the perspective of everybody in this game a lot, but the fact of the matter is you just can't help it. The energy that comes with all of this perspective, with all of the games that are in here, and with all of the questions. And speaking of questions, this is probably a good time for us to remind you guys that if you have any questions, this would be the time for you to leave them down below. But just as a reminder that the questions we're taking, they either need to be about either me or Zach, or about the Schmodown itself, or how me and Zach feel about the Schmodown. Anything else, just leave on the cutting room floor. But Zach, I gotta say, this is so fantastic and so energetic. I mean, there's no other word to describe it. It's so much fun.
It absolutely is. I love the Schmodown. If I ever got a chance to play in it, let me tell you this. I might not bring my best A game, but I would try my best. And I would have the best introduction ever. You better count on that right now. But of course, guys, this was a ton of fun. Let's start getting to the live stream, see what you guys are talking about. I see we have Ryan O'Toole, B Wise, Dante Law in there. Also going down Shade the Review Guy, Cody O'Toole's in here, and John the Real Talk, and Future Filmmaker. So we got some good people in here today. All right. One of the questions I did see is Cody O'Toole asked, are we going to see Thad versus Harloff match for the commissioner spot? What do you think, Cody?
I don't necessarily know if it will be right now, but I think we are going to get that match because, like we stated last week, guys, and shameless plug, if you guys have not listened to that episode that Zach and I did last week, you really should. You can find it either on iTunes or on SoundCloud, but it's going to happen. I mean, it's just going to happen. I think Christian Harloff, he really likes being commissioner. Guys, in my opinion, it is going to happen. What about you, Zach?
Absolutely. I think he will eventually. I think Thad Williams will lose completely and humiliatingly because he's actually pissing me off with all these stupid contracts. He fucked over Rachel Cushing on that aspect. And it really messed me up when he did that because she didn't need to be in a handicap match by herself. She deserves someone from the crowd to come up. Clark Wolf of some sorts because they now are the Shire Wolves. It was really disappointing, though. I do think eventually, like you said, we will eventually get it. I know Thad is really smart in some movie knowledge, but really Christian, he created the show. Like the dude is a fierce competitor. What I want to see again is Mark and Christian get back into the ring soon and become Team Schmoes. We need a Team Schmoes in here. If Team Top 10 does not take down the Patriots, I'm saying this right now, Team Schmoes, you better get back in because I think that's the only way we're ever going to be able to take down the Patriots.
Absolutely. And now, Zach, we have a very interesting question from Cody O'Toole, and it says, can anyone in the Schmodown dress as good as Cody? What do you think, Zach?
Let's see. I mean, Brienne and Stacey Howard always dress to complete standards fantastically, if I might not say myself. Same with Mike Kalinowski, but it's pretty damn close tie if I don't say myself.
Yeah, Zach, I couldn't agree more. Although there is one other person who I want to shout out. He left Collider. He left the movie trivia Schmoedown. He left the Inner Geekdom. The only other person I could think of would be Mr. Jeremy Johns. He was in the Inner Geekdom. He became the Inner Geekdom champion. Man, I would love for him to come back and compete in some Schmoedown episodes. But, you know, who knows what will happen in the future. But Mr. Jeremy Johns, if there's somebody besides myself in the Schmoedown who would dress in a vest button up, I think it would have to be him.
Yeah, no, I agree. Now, I do see something that we did forget to talk about. Now, let me just scream a little bit with excitement that John the Real Talk brought this up. Thoughts on the Ash versus Evil Dead match? Oh my God, I screamed. I literally yelped like a little girl when Bruce Campbell came up. Cody, you know I'm a huge fan of the Evil Dead. You know I'm a huge fan of Bruce Campbell. You know I'm a huge fan of the show. I preached it. I sent you the movies to watch because you know I love these so much. And for people who don't know, Army of Darkness is like in one of my top 5 horror films of all time. It's also one of my top 20 favorite movies of all time. I love this whole universe of Evil Dead. The fact that we're getting a trivia match with 2 actors from it. Bruce Campbell, I have a feeling he's not going to be in the match, but I have a feeling he's going to be not a commissioner, but he's going to be commentating on the match with Christian Harloff. But we have also Schnepp, and why is it escaping my name right now? Oh, what's his name? Someone please put it down in the chat. But the guy, he's from critically acclaimed. Man, I'm totally spacing on what his name is right now. But just he's a fierce competitor too from critical acclaim with William Bibbiani and Whitney, that's what his name is, Whitney. Just hearing both of them are going to be having a tag team match with Ash vs. the Evil Dead. Almost all horror questions is what I'm getting at. This is going to be a fantastic match. Ash versus the Evil Dead, bringing it in. It's a good publicity thing because Ash vs. the Evil Dead has come back for season 3. Which, if you haven't seen it, you gotta watch the show. It's one of the best shows I've ever watched. And that's not just saying because I love Evil Dead. It really is a very fun, unique show, and I am so excited about that. What about Cody? I know I've just been yelping and screaming about this match all the time.
Yeah, no, Zach, and your passion is well-founded. And guys, when he said he sent it to me, when he said he sent me the Evil Dead films, he wasn't joking. I got them right here, Evil Dead 1 and 2 and Army of Darkness. I've only seen the first one, but Zach, I'm excited that you're so excited for this matchup. And honestly, the fact that this is happening, it just makes me feel like I need to catch up on these Evil Dead films and Ash versus the Evil Dead. I mean, and if it's a match that's just going to be surrounding the entire world of horror, I could not be more excited because if you guys don't know, Zach and I, we are giant fans of good horror, of horror that means something. I mean, this is going to be great. I don't think there's really any other word to describe it. And Zach, I can't really praise it any more than you already have.
Yeah, absolutely. Now going on, Cody O'Toole says he deserves commissioner. So yes, Christian does deserve commissioner. Ryan O'Toole has a good question here, and he says, once Andrew returns to Team Action, do you think Team Action can compete with Patriots? I'll say this, Team Action, they're very fierce competitors as well. It was stupid of Andrew to tackle him. I know there's a lot of things saying, like, I know we all know it was played for, but, like, come on, like, I didn't really like that moment, to be honest, but I think Team Action has a really good career ahead of them in the Schmoes. I'm curious to see where they go. They don't need the action category, to be honest. Like, sometimes they don't even do that well in the action category, but I think they can go up against the Patriots. I think they have fierce competing things towards the Patriots that they can win. But honestly, like I said, by the time they get back in, I think it'll be top 10 in the championship spot.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Honestly, I don't have a lot to say about Team Action. What I will say about them is I think they're a great team. I do think they're a great team, and the reason why I won't say any more than that is because Zach said exactly what was on my mind. All right, let's see what else we got for questions. John from the Real Talk. John from the Real Talk says, how do you feel about top 10 versus the Patriots round 3? I think Zach and I already stated how we feel about this. While the Patriots have won against Team Top 10 twice already, it's very apparent between me and Zach that we think it's top 10's time. John Roca and Matt Nost in this last match, they proved that they are at the top of their game. Nothing is going to take them down. And in this next match, they're going to take down the Patriots. It just seems like it's headed in that direction.
Yep, no, I agree. I already said I think third time's the charm. They have to. I mean, I really thought I thought McWeeny and Sam Levine had it, and they were really close. But I think top 10 really, after the team action came in and lit a fire under John Roca's ass, this is their year. Who else? I see Scrooge is also in here, and Scrooge says that isn't doing a singles match against Christian. It'll most likely be a tag team match. I could see that. Maybe we get a team Schmoes versus, I think it was called Deep Cuts when they were on there. I think I would like that. What about you, Cody?
Yeah, no, I would like that too.
Now we see Ryan O'Toole's in there. He says, who is Brian Chandler going to join since she left Stacey Howard? Now, I think we all kind of know this, that it's going to be Mike Kalinowski, K.O. Kalinowski. At least that's what I'm going from. Mr. and Mrs. Smith there, if you haven't seen the pictures.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, guys, if you've seen any of the marketing / Instagram and pictures that Brianne Chandler and Mike Kalinowski have been posting on their social media accounts, it definitely seems like they're going to have a very, very amazing team up in the Schmoedown, which is great because I love Mike Kalinowski, I love Brianne Chandler, and I would really like to just sit down and talk with them one day. I think that'd be great.
Now I see Scrooge is also thrown in there. I have the Patriots against top 10. You know what? That's a fair thing to say. Like I said, the Patriots could come out blazing. Obviously, top 10 really had a high thing with here when that gave them biopics. And we all know Patriots will not make that mistake. I even think I saw someone in here say that. Scrooge said that as well. The Patriots won't make that mistake. That is very true. I don't even think the Patriots will have spinner's choice or opponent's choice on the wheel board because I don't think they usually do. It's their choice to have it on there. It's just, for me, it's going to be a tough match, but I think with that fire lit under their ass, it's going to be a really good match. That's all I can ask for. I personally would like to see top 10 take them down, but I mean, I can't take anything away from the Patriots and the Lions then. I mean, they have held the belt for a year now. That is insane. But anything else to add on to that, Cody?
No.
Yeah, Cody's not that big of a fan of the Lions then, but we also have the real talk with the Schmoedown getting a Patreon. How do you feel about getting 4 matches a week now because of it? I mean, I'd love it. I'd love if we got one team match a week, one singles match, one intergetum, and maybe even do another singles match or team one. I think it gets more people in there. I know they're getting a new studio for Collider. Maybe that adds on to it. I think they can totally bring it about. What about you, Cody?
Yeah, I think they should. One thing I think they should look into, if they do want to do 4 matches a week because of their Patreon, I think they need to take a good look and see that it's not going to dilute the currency and that the Schmoedown, they're not going to burn themselves out with doing so many matches during the week. Because I am all for getting 4 matches a week. I think it'd be great. It certainly gives us a lot more to talk about. But I just don't want them to burn themselves out to feel like they need to take a long break from doing the Schmoedown episodes. But that's pretty much all I have to say about it. I think it is a good idea in theory.
Yeah, no, I agree. I would, of course, love more Schmoedown, but it's kind of like a special event twice a week that you get. It's like you get Tuesday and then you got Friday. It's a great way to spend those days. Let's see. We also got Cody O'Toole says Drew McWeeny is my favorite competitor in the league, hands down. Well, yeah, he's one of mine because that's why I took him for my fantasy draft. Do you like McWeeny, Cody?
I think McQueenie's pretty cool. I mean,
yeah, he's the Godfather. He's the Godfather. Come on. Let's see.
Cool.
Real talk. It won't surprise me if the Patriots won. Yeah, I mean, it won't surprise anyone. Ryan O'Toole, Mike is on DC movie news. Yeah, Ryan, he supposedly is, but I also think him and Brienne are having a team. Something's going on here, and I can't wait to see what they do with that.
Yep.
You think he's on DC movie news?
Yeah, honestly, I do. I wouldn't doubt it for a split second. I think he is on DC movie news.
All right, so it looks like we're getting to the end of our show, guys. If you guys have any other questions, make sure to throw them down below. I'm going to read the last few chat, and then I think we're going to be able to end this podcast here. This was a really fun time. 2 matches this week we got to talk about. I had a ton of fun with this week. I mean, this is what I look forward to. My Saturdays, not going out and partying and drinking, but talking Schmoedown with one of my great friends, Cody, right here. And, of course, all of you guys in the chat.
Absolutely. Guys, this has been fantastic. This normal conversation between friends about something that we absolutely love talking about. This is what matters. Just building a bond, building communication between one another. In all honesty, I couldn't ask for a better friend to talk about the Schmoedown with, because this is a great show created by some truly creative minds, created by some of the best on this YouTube space. And each Saturday is just a sheer pleasure. There's really nothing more to add to that.
Yeah, and I'll also have to say this. Before we get to the last question, I'll take it, which is the real talk sending it in. I want to say this. Of course, thank you again to everyone at Collider for putting on a great show. I love all the graphics. I love all the hard work you guys put into this. And I have to say, if you're new to this podcast, you're just seeing Battle of the Schmoes, what is this? Make sure to go check out the Schmodown, because I really do recommend it. I know we probably just spoiled 2 of the episodes for you, but go ahead and binge watch the show. The Schmodown is a fantastic time to watch, and I think it's totally worth watching. And they also have a Patreon now, which is worth checking out and helping out, because they're going to be putting out some great stuff. I know they're trying to get some live matches out, which is going to be a ton of fun, which I will be driving out to go see wholeheartedly. I would love to see the Schmoes in live action. But now looking at this, our last question comes from John the Real Talk, and chances of Dan Murrell or Mark Riley coming out of retirement. Woo! That's a heavy-handed question. Cody, I think you should start this one off.
Yep. Okay. And for those of you who don't know, who are listening through iTunes, SoundCloud, or are new to this podcast, Mark Riley and Dan Murrell, when it comes to terms of the Schmodown, they are 2 of the best players out there. They have been champions for a long time. Dan Murrell held the all-time champion belt for the longest time. I'm not exactly sure. It was more than a couple of years, I'm pretty sure. But Dan Murrell and Mark Riley, you ask me, I think they have a couple of years left in them for a break, but there's no way that Dan Murrell is going to stay in retirement. I do not doubt that he's going to come back and play in the Schmodown again. In fact, I wouldn't doubt it if he came out of retirement at the end of this year. I mean, it's just such a competitive and fantastic game. I think he wants to get back in there to have some of that glory again. What about you, Zach?
Same. I agree, Dan Murrell, and I even think Mark Riley will eventually come back. I think they're going to take some breaks for right now. I think Mark Riley is going to be more a behind-the-scenes guy, maybe more commentating. Dan Murrell, I think, will pop in here and there. I think same thing with any of the Screen Junkie guys. I think we're going to get a little bit more of them. Obviously, there was some stuff that happened at the end of the year last year that I don't think we should really talk about. But I think if you've cut up to the news, you probably know what it is about. But, I mean, I love Screen Junkies. I love them. I'd love to see more people from that show come over and join in. I'd really like to see Roth Cornett come from Screen Junkies and come compete. I think she has a fantastic amount of movie knowledge that I'd love to see her put in here. I'd love to see Alicia Malone show up. I mean, I miss seeing her with the Schmoes now, of course. But I mean, that's my thing. I just want more Screen Junkies people, of course. But I mean, I'm excited. I see Dan Murrell showing up again soon.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, this has been a really fantastic episode. The episodes we've gotten of the Schmodown this week, while they may not be groundbreaking, they are certainly entertaining as all get out, and they have been fantastic. And thank you guys so much for showing up. Thank you so much for listening. And if there are those of you who are only audio only listeners who don't want to see the video and are only listening through SoundCloud and iTunes, thank you for listening. Thank you for showing up to see what Zach and I have to say about a show that we love so much about. And Zach's right. If you haven't even known about the Schmodown and maybe you want to check it out now, we highly, highly recommend it. It's a great competitive game. It'll give you more knowledge. Maybe you're just a casual movie watcher. Maybe it'll give you more knowledge about movies that you love and you haven't seen. And that's right. Shameless plug one more time. For those of you who are at the end of this podcast, which that's a little strange, or you just want to listen to this podcast again, this episode of the Battle of the Schmoes podcast is going to be up on both SoundCloud and iTunes within the next couple of days. And once again, guys, thank you so much for showing up.
Of course, guys, I love that. Again, if you're listening audio-wise or not, make sure if you find us on YouTube, you guys can go check out the links down below. I have the 2 channels up on there for the first episode, which is iTunes and SoundCloud. Make sure to go review them and also follow us. Maybe you guys can find them, listen to us again, listen to our beautiful, awesome, sexy voices. Of course, because that's what you guys want to do when you're driving to work, of course. And also, if you're watching us on YouTube, I mean, this is where you're going to be finding it if you're live. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Make sure to go subscribe over to Cody Curtis. You guys find him at, well, Cody, why don't you tell them where they can find you on YouTube?
Absolutely. You guys can find me, Cody Curtis, on YouTube. It should be the first name that pops up. And you can also find me at Twitter at _Cody_Curtis. Guys, come on, ask questions, show up. Let's have a beautiful conversation about movies, life, and pretty much everything else. Let's talk about the Schmoedown. Let's talk about this podcast. I can't wait for our conversation. Let's get to it. Zach, tell them where they can find you.
And of course, you guys can find me at Zach Pope on YouTube. There's 2 Zach Pope channels actually on YouTube now, and I'm the one that reviews movies, live streams, talks about this podcast, of course, does tons of collaboration and tons of movie nerds, and of course, I'm Deadpool. You saw my last video, you know what I mean by that. So, of course, guys, thank you so much for all the support and love. You guys are all the best. And, well, until next time, make sure to stay classy and have a great rest of your day.